I married my best friend last year. We've been together for 8 years, and it's been the most amazing and fulfilling relationship I've ever had. We had the perfect life. We have the cutest little puppy, and she's the most loyal and loving little creature I've ever met. We've been saving for a house in our dream city, and we were just about ready to pull the trigger this year. We were planning to adopt afterwards. We finally paid off all our student loans. We have amazing friends and hobbies that we're both passionate about. We did everything together. Dates multiple times a week, every weekend for sure, and usually a few during the week as well. Road trips and vacations and events. We stayed up late every night cuddling and talking about our future together. We have a million little inside jokes and we sent flirty texts to each other all day. We had an amazing sex life, every one of our fantasies, every day, often multiple times a day. We made it through graduate school and the pandemic and all sorts of other tumultuous life events together. I work from home, and I took care of all the house chores so she didn't have to. I took care of the dog. I did the training and the walking and the feeding so that she wouldn't have that extra stress. I make 4x her salary so that she can work her dream job, which doesn't, by itself, make enough to pay rent etc. Since we're in NYC, I've never complained about any of this. And being able to do all these things for her always made me so proud and happy, so that she could fulfill her own professional dreams. And she still cheated on me. She cheated with a co-worker she's only known for a few months, who is way younger than her, and who is her subordinate at work. I told her I would be willing to work through it in therapy together, that I could forgive her because our life was so amazing. And she told me she was so sorry and would do anything to make things right, that she had never meant to hurt me. But I found out last week that she is still cheating on me with him, and when I confronted her, she became unrecognizable. She was verbally abusive and yelled at me and told me that she had never loved me or our puppy. She told me that she had just been using me all along, and now that she'd found someone else, she didn't need me anymore, and that she didn't feel any remorse or guilt and had only pretended to apologize when she got caught the first time so that she could keep using me for money. I should be angry, but I just feel so sorry for her. I'm still going to have an amazing life. I took our dog, my dog now I guess, and moved out. I'm still going to be buying that house alone now. All my friends also are friends, and even her friends have been so supportive. Even her family has been so supportive of me. She's losing a lot of friends. She's losing me, her best friend, at the very least. She might lose her job. She can't afford rent where she's living either way. She always liked expensive shows and clothes and hobbies and going out to eat. And now she can't have any of that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But she doesn't return my calls anymore. So I guess this is it. I'll never understand what happened or why she gave up on our life together out of nowhere like this. I was completely overwhelmed by the response to my original post, and was so busy dealing with the fallout, emotional and otherwise, of my soon-to-be ex-wife's affair to respond to everyone's messages. So a quick apology to anyone's DM I didn't respond to. I've never gotten hundreds of messages before on any platform, but I did see them and they did help me feel less crazy. So thank you everyone. As many of you predicted, she tried to come back, multiple times in fact. The last 2 months have been insane in a lot of ways for me. I encouraged her to see a therapist, and she was diagnosed with a personality disorder. She didn't tell me the specifics, but my own therapist suspects borderline personality disorder. For what it's worth, I still love and care about her so much that every time she called me sobbing, telling me she hadn't meant it and would do anything to make things right again, I fell for it and told her I would help any way I could. In retrospect, it was so bizarre and entrancing, seeing these glimpses of the person I used to know, reaching back out to me in such obvious pain. And so every time she told me, stone-faced, a few days after apologizing, that she hadn't meant the apology and had only said it to manipulate me, and had faked the tears, it hurt so much more. Having just seen these glimpses of the wonderful person I knew for 8 years, I got so lost in trying to help her during these isolated moments of normalcy that I lost track of how many times she abruptly switched her entire attitude towards me. It was only recently that I went back and counted 15 times that she switched between telling me that she loves me and had learned from her mistake and couldn't wait to hold me again, and telling me that she had no regrets, had never loved me, and that she had only ever been manipulating me. At one point during one of her days of normalcy, she told me that, when she thought back on how she had treated me, she felt like she had been kidnapped by aliens and replaced with a body double, like she had been watching an evil version of herself destroy my life while she watched helpless from space. And then when I called her a few days later and she started yelling at me for not being good enough and telling me that she was busy with her affair partner, who she had sworn she was done with just 2 days before, I reminded her of her alien story. She told me that she didn't remember telling me that she would never say something so dumb. But if she had, it would have only been to manipulate me. I've never been a victim of abuse before this, so it took me a lot longer than I'd like to admit to realize what she was doing to me. I always thought when I saw other people being treated so poorly, wow, I would never let that happen to me. But when I was actually in that situation, all I could think of was how I could help her. I always try to see the best in people, and as far as I know, this is the first time someone who is close enough to me to know that has purposefully taken advantage of it to keep hurting me with no intention of stopping. It still feels so strange, like I hallucinated the last 8 years of my life. But I filed for divorce this week. I didn't respond to her last call. I know exactly how it would have gone. The apologies, swearing she would make things better, that she loves me so much, and then a few days later, the shouting and the abuse and telling me that I wasn't good enough for her and that she had never loved me. Also, in some DMs, people mentioned something about hearing about my original post from my TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, so I guess someone is impersonating my throwaway account, which is strange. Just a heads up, if anyone is personally invested in my story at all, this is the only place online that I'm writing about it. Any other accounts are not me. Also, a quick update for all the kind people wondering how I'm doing personally. I've been having a blast going on adventures with my dog. My friends have all been taking turns reaching out every day. My family has been amazingly supportive. My manager told me to take a month off work to sort myself out, and it was super refreshing. Being back at work afterwards has been great. My co-workers have been hyping me up and checking in with me at lunch. I was able to get back to some old hobbies I'd dropped because of the pandemic, and made some new friends there. It's been good. I'm good.